In a small, dusty town on the edge of the untamed frontier, a courageous woman dared to challenge the deeply rooted divisions of her time. She was a teacher, but not just any teacher. She opened her school doors to a mixed-race girl, defying the harsh social codes that dictated who deserved education and who was to be left behind. Her bold act ignited fury among many, and on one fateful day, angry voices turned into stones hurled with violent force, aiming to silence her and the hope she represented. Yet, beneath the storm of hatred and fear, an unexpected force gathered quietly. Warriors, silent and resolute, surrounded the school. Their presence was not just protection, but a powerful statement, a solemn vow to defend what was right against the tide of cruelty. In the heart of the Old West, where law often faltered and prejudice ran deep, this moment became a turning point, where courage met conviction, and silence spoke louder than words. The teacher's unwavering commitment to justice and equality was more than a personal stand. It was a beacon for a community on the brink of change. She knew the risks, the dangers of crossing invisible lines drawn by fear and hatred. Yet she persisted, fueled by the belief that every child, regardless of skin color or background, deserved the chance to learn, grow, and dream. Her defiance was a spark that threatened to ignite a fire of transformation. As the stones flew and the warriors stood watch, a story unfolded that challenged the very fabric of a divided society. It was a tale of bravery and protection, of voices raised in defense of the vulnerable, and of a small school that became the battleground for equality and respect. This story reminds us that sometimes true strength lies not in force, but in the courage to stand firm for what is just, even when the world seems set against you. Join us as we unravel this remarkable chapter from the Old West, a tale of injustice met with honor, hate met with silence, and a teacher whose courage sparked a movement that changed a town forever. The small schoolhouse stood at the edge of a frontier town torn by unspoken tensions and rigid prejudices. Inside its worn walls, a brave teacher dared to defy the harsh rules that governed who deserved education. Her classroom was a sanctuary for a mixed-race girl, whose mere presence challenged the town's deepest fears and biases. Each lesson taught was an act of rebellion, a beacon of hope for a future where color would not dictate a child's worth. But the town's simmering hatred could not be contained forever. Whispers grew into shouts, and suspicion into rage. One restless afternoon, a mob formed, fueled by years of resentment and fear of change. Stones were gathered, anger sharpened into weapons aimed at silencing the teacher's defiance. As the first rock flew through the air, the schoolhouse trembled, not just from the impact but from the weight of a community's struggle with its own conscience. Inside, the teacher's heart raced, but her resolve remained unbroken. She knew the risks, understood the hostility brewing beyond the windows, yet she stood firm, not just for herself but for every child who deserved a chance to learn and grow. The girl she taught sat quietly, eyes wide but unyielding, a symbol of resilience amid chaos. Together, they embodied a silent courage that refused to be crushed by stones or fear. Then, amid the chaos, a profound silence fell. It was a silence that carried the weight of something greater, something that turned eyes away from hatred and toward honor. From the edges of the town, warriors emerged, surrounding the schoolhouse not with violence, but with a solemn, protective presence. Their quiet stance was a message clearer than any shout. The school and its mission would be defended at all costs. This moment marked a turning point in the town's history. The clash between fear and bravery, ignorance and compassion, unfolded not in words but in actions. The warriors' silent vigil was a shield for justice, a promise that the future could be different. It was a testament to the power of standing together, sometimes in silence, to protect what is right. The warriors who encircled the school were not just protectors, but emissaries of a deeper respect for dignity and equality. Their presence quelled the mob's fury, turning aggression into uneasy silence. The people watched, caught between fear and awe, as these guardians stood firm for a cause that many had yet to fully understand. Their stoic watchfulness spoke volumes, teaching a lesson in strength that did not rely on harsh words or weapons, but on honor, and unwavering conviction. Inside the schoolhouse, the teacher felt a renewed sense of safety, but also a profound responsibility. The eyes of the warriors outside were a reminder that the fight for justice was larger than any one person. It was a collective endeavor that demanded courage from all. The girl she taught became a living symbol of hope, her mixed heritage no longer a mark of division, but a bridge between worlds. News of the stoning and the warriors' silent defense spread quickly throughout the region. Towns and settlements far beyond the dusty streets began to hear the story, a story that challenged old norms and inspired new conversations. It was a reminder that change often comes in unexpected moments, sparked by acts of bravery and shielded by solidarity. The teacher's resolve grew stronger with each passing day. She continued to educate not only with lessons from books, but with the lived truth of equality and respect. Her classroom became a sanctuary where young minds were open to a world beyond prejudice, a world where knowledge was a weapon against ignorance and love a shield against hatred. As the warriors kept their silent guard, a community began to shift. Walls of division trembled under the weight of compassion, and hearts once closed began to open. The schoolhouse became more than a building. It became a beacon, shining light on a path toward justice, unity, and a future where every child's right to learn was fiercely protected. In the days following the stoning, the town was hushed by the gravity of what had transpired. The silence of the warriors outside the schoolhouse had spoken louder than any words could, casting a long shadow over those who once shouted with fury. The community found itself at a crossroads, torn between the old ways, rooted in fear and segregation, and the fragile promise of change embodied by the teacher and her mixed-race student. The tension hung heavy in the air as neighbors wrestled with their consciences and the possibility of a new beginning. The teacher, undeterred by threats and hostility, doubled down on her mission. Her classroom became a place where courage was taught alongside reading and writing, where lessons extended beyond textbooks to the very heart of humanity. She nurtured not just minds but spirits, encouraging her students to question prejudice and to dream of a world where skin color did not dictate one's fate. The girl, once shunned and silenced, blossomed under this care, her smile a quiet rebellion against the hatred that tried to confine her. Meanwhile, the warriors maintained their vigil, a steadfast shield that protected the fragile hope growing inside the schoolhouse. Their presence was a constant reminder that the fight for justice required more than words. It demanded action, solidarity, and a willingness to stand together in the face of danger. Their silent watch inspired others in the town to reconsider their own beliefs and to slowly embrace a vision of inclusion that had once seemed impossible. As whispers of change spread, pockets of resistance still flared. Some feared losing the control and identity that long-held divisions provided. They saw the teacher's courage as a threat to tradition and order. Yet, these voices grew quieter as the community witnessed the tangible transformation unfolding before them. The laughter of children from different backgrounds learning side by side, the easing of old grudges, and the gentle power of education to heal. The schoolhouse became a symbol of resilience and hope, a place where the past's wounds could begin to mend. In the midst of hostility and uncertainty, a new chapter was being written, one where bravery and compassion reshaped the future of a town steeped in the harsh realities of the Old West. As the months passed, the teacher's efforts began to bear fruit, quietly but undeniably changing the town's fabric. The children who once feared each other now shared lessons and games, building friendships that transcended the boundaries imposed by society. Families who had stayed distant found themselves drawn together by the hope that education brought, a hope that promised a better tomorrow for their children. The once divisive presence of the mixed-race girl became a catalyst for unity rather than discord. The warriors, still guardians of the school's fragile peace, saw their silent stance evolve into active support. They helped rebuild damaged homes, protected those who were vulnerable, and fostered a sense of safety that had long been absent. Their strength was no longer just in their weapons, but in their commitment to a cause greater than themselves, the cause of justice and equality for all. Their example inspired others to take up the mantle of change, turning whispers of hope into a chorus of solidarity. Resistance persisted, but it lost its grip as more voices joined the call for acceptance and understanding. Town meetings became forums of dialogue, where fears were voiced and addressed, and where the community began to envision a future that included everyone. The schoolhouse, once a battleground, transformed into a beacon of progress, illuminating the path toward healing and reconciliation. The teacher, the girl, and the warriors became intertwined symbols of this transformation, a living testament to the power of standing up for what is right. Their courage inspired letters from distant towns, travelers who came to witness the remarkable change, and stories that spread like wildfire across the frontier. This was no longer just a small-town struggle. It was a movement with the potential to reshape the very soul of the West. In the heart of a land once defined by division and hardship, a new spirit was born, a spirit of hope, inclusion, and unwavering courage. The story of the teacher and the mixed-race girl, protected by silent warriors, became a legend that would echo through generations, reminding all who heard it that justice, like bravery, often speaks loudest in silence. The growing unity within the town was a fragile but powerful force, nurtured by the persistence of the teacher and the protective watch of the warriors. Families once divided by suspicion and fear now began to see the possibilities of coexistence and mutual respect. The mixed-race girl, once a symbol of controversy, became a beacon of hope and resilience, inspiring others to embrace differences rather than fear them. Her smile and growing confidence spoke louder than any words, breaking down barriers built over generations. The teacher's classroom evolved into a sanctuary of learning and acceptance, where children of all backgrounds gathered to discover not only reading and writing, but empathy and understanding. The lessons she imparted transcended the pages of textbooks. They were lessons of humanity, courage, and the unbreakable bond of community. Parents, once skeptical, now stood proudly at the doors, watching their children step into a future where prejudice held less power. Yet, shadows of resistance still lingered. Some townsfolk clung to the old ways, unwilling to relinquish their prejudices or the status quo. Their opposition took subtle forms: whispers behind closed doors, attempts to undermine the teacher's influence, and efforts to spread doubt about the school's purpose. But each attempt was met with growing strength from those who believed in change, united by the warriors' steadfast protection and the undeniable progress blossoming within the town. The teacher's quiet determination and the warriors' unwavering presence inspired a ripple effect beyond the town's borders. Nearby settlements heard the story of this courageous stand against hatred, sparking conversations and stirring hopes that similar change could ripple through the wider frontier. The fight for justice was no longer isolated. It had become a beacon lighting the path for others facing their own battles against bigotry. Together, the community learned that true change requires patience, resilience, and collective courage. The story of a teacher, a mixed-race girl, and the silent warriors guarding them became a powerful testament to the enduring strength of compassion in the harshest of places. As seasons shifted and years passed, the town blossomed into a vibrant community defined not by its divisions, but by its unity. The warriors who had once stood silently as guardians now became mentors and leaders, teaching younger generations the values of honor, respect, and protection for all. Their watchful eyes ensured that the peace hard-won was preserved, and their stories intertwined with those of the teacher and her students to form a rich tapestry of resilience and hope. The mixed-race girl grew into a young woman of remarkable grace and strength, her journey embodying the triumph over adversity and prejudice. She became a symbol of what education and acceptance could achieve, inspiring others to look beyond appearances and embrace the humanity in everyone. Her voice, once silent, was now heard through the language of signs and the eloquence of her actions, speaking volumes to a world learning to listen differently. Despite the undeniable progress, the town understood that vigilance was essential. The wounds of the past could easily reopen if forgotten. The community continued to gather, to teach, and to celebrate their diversity, weaving a culture of inclusion that defied the harsh realities of the frontier. Their unity became a beacon, a light shining against the darkness of bigotry and fear. Letters from distant places arrived, recounting how the story of the teacher and the warriors had inspired others to stand up against injustice. This small town, once fractured by fear, had sparked a movement of compassion and courage across the frontier. It was a reminder that even the most entrenched prejudices could be challenged and changed by steadfast hearts and collective action. As twilight settled over the land, the legacy of the teacher, the mixed-race girl, and the silent warriors stood firm, a powerful testament to the enduring human spirit. Their story would be passed down through generations, inspiring countless others to believe in the transformative power of kindness, courage, and unity in the face of adversity. The quiet strength of the warriors and the unwavering dedication of the teacher began to transform not only the town, but also the very culture of the frontier surrounding it. Their story became a living legend, whispered in saloons and around campfires, inspiring others to challenge their own prejudices. The town, once marked by division and fear, now radiated a newfound warmth, a place where differences were met with curiosity instead of hostility, and where children of all colors learned side by side beneath the same sky. The mixed-race girl, whose presence had ignited so much controversy, became a beloved figure whose story touched every heart. She spoke not with words but with gestures filled with emotion, teaching others the power of communication beyond sound. Her resilience was a living testament to the strength found in vulnerability, and her journey symbolized the possibility of a future where acceptance trumped fear. Though change was slow and often met with resistance, the community stood firm, buoyed by the support of the warriors and the conviction of the teacher. Their example showed that courage was not just about fighting with guns, but about standing up for what was right, even when the world seemed against you. This courage spread quietly through the town, encouraging neighbors to support one another and to build a future grounded in respect. Amidst the rugged beauty of the Old West, this story became a beacon of hope, illuminating the path forward for those willing to listen and learn. The town's transformation reminded everyone that progress often comes from the smallest acts, carrying a child back inside, standing silently as a shield, or simply choosing kindness in a world that could be harsh and unforgiving. Their legacy was more than a moment in time. It was a living, breathing testament to the power of unity and compassion. In a land where survival often meant isolation, the teacher, the orphan girl, and the silent warriors proved that community and acceptance could thrive, and that even the quietest voices deserved to be heard. As the seasons changed and new generations were born, the lessons of acceptance and bravery took root deeply in the town's soul. Children grew up hearing the story of the deaf orphan and the warriors who protected her, learning that true strength lies in compassion, and that standing up for justice is a legacy worth carrying. The schoolhouse became a sanctuary, not just for learning, but for embracing differences and building bridges between worlds once divided. The warriors, once silent protectors, evolved into respected elders and mentors, passing on their wisdom about honor, courage, and the importance of defending the vulnerable. Their presence became a symbol of the town's commitment to justice, reminding all that peace requires guardianship and that the fight against prejudice is ongoing. The mixed-race girl blossomed into a young woman whose spirit inspired many beyond the borders of the town. Through her, the community learned to see beyond skin color and to value the richness of diverse backgrounds. Her journey from outcast to beloved member of the town was a powerful narrative of hope, healing, and the unyielding power of love. Though challenges still came, the town faced them united, with a newfound resilience born of shared struggle and triumph. The story of the teacher, the girl, and the warriors continued to shape the community's values, guiding them through hardship and into a future marked by empathy and strength. Beneath the expansive sky of the Old West, the legacy of this remarkable chapter echoed through time, a testament to the enduring power of courage, kindness, and unity in a world often defined by its divisions. It was a story that would inspire generations to come, reminding all that change begins with the bravery to stand together and protect what is right. As the years passed, The town transformed from a place of fear and division into a community united by shared values of respect and compassion. The lessons taught by the teacher and embodied by the mixed-race girl became woven into the fabric of daily life. Where once suspicion ruled, acceptance now blossomed. The warriors, once silent guardians, were celebrated as pillars of peace, their quiet strength a foundation for future generations. Children played freely in the streets, their laughter a testament to the healing power of courage and kindness. The girl, now a young woman, emerged as a leader, using her experiences to inspire change far beyond the town's borders. Her journey from rejection to acceptance was a beacon for those who face discrimination, proving that identity is not a barrier, but a bridge. Through her, the community learned that true strength is found in embracing diversity and that the path to justice is paved with empathy and unwavering courage. Despite the remarkable progress, the town remained vigilant. Shadows of prejudice still lingered, reminding everyone that the work of healing is never truly complete. The community met these challenges together, drawing strength from the legacy of the teacher, the girl, and the warriors. Their story was a constant reminder that change requires patience, resilience, and the commitment to stand up for what is right. The tale of the deaf orphan and the warriors who protected her became legend, retold in quiet moments and celebrated in communal gatherings. It was a story of triumph over adversity, of silence breaking into song, and of a community daring to redefine itself. This legacy lived on, inspiring generations to fight for inclusion and justice, no matter the obstacles. Under the vast western sky, the town's journey stood as a testament to humanity's capacity to overcome hate with love, fear with courage, and division with unity. It was proof that even in the harshest frontiers, compassion has the power to change the world. In the twilight of a long day, as the sun dipped behind the rolling hills, the story of the teacher, the orphan, and the silent warriors settled into the hearts of all who heard it. It was more than a tale from the Old West. It was a timeless message about the power of empathy to bridge divides and heal old wounds. Their courage illuminated a path for those lost in darkness, showing that true bravery is often quiet, steadfast, and profoundly transformative. The community they shaped flourished, not just in prosperity, but in spirit. The schoolhouse, once a battleground, became a sanctuary where every child was seen and valued. The warriors' watchful eyes softened into smiles of pride, their legacy passed to the next generation as guardians of peace and equality. Through their shared history, the town found identity and strength. Though the frontier continued to challenge with its ruggedness and unpredictability, the town's heart beat strong with a rhythm of unity. The story that began with stones thrown in anger ended with hands joined in hope. It was a testament to the fact that change begins with small acts of kindness and grows through collective courage. As stars blanketed the sky, the town stood as a living monument to what can be achieved when people dare to embrace difference and defend the vulnerable. Their legacy was etched into the land and the lives they touched, a reminder that love, above all, endures. This was the story of a teacher who risked everything for justice, an orphan who became a symbol of hope, and warriors who chose silence over violence to protect what was right. Their journey is an enduring inspiration, a call to all of us to stand bravely, speak kindly, and carry the light forward in our own worlds. In the rugged expanse of the Old West, the story of a brave teacher, a resilient orphan, and silent warriors teaches us that true courage often comes not from weapons, but from unwavering compassion. Their journey reminds us that even in the darkest moments, standing up for justice and protecting the vulnerable can ignite powerful change that echoes through generations. It challenges us to ask ourselves what kind of legacy we want to leave behind. Throughout this tale, we saw how small acts, carrying a child back into a church, teaching a child rejected by society, standing silently to defend what is right, can ripple out to transform entire communities. It is a call to recognize the strength and gentleness and the power in solidarity. The Old West was not only tamed by grit and gunfire, but also by the quiet revolutions of empathy and bravery. As you reflect on this story, consider the barriers in your own life and community. Who might be the silent or unseen that need a voice? What actions, no matter how small, can you take to bridge divides and foster inclusion? The legacy of the teacher and her warriors is a powerful reminder that change begins with individuals willing to act with heart and courage. If this story moved you, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters and can inspire others. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel to join a community that values stories of hope, resilience, and transformation. Your engagement helps us bring these powerful narratives to more people and keep their lessons alive. Thank you for watching and being part of this journey through the Old West, where kindness overcame cruelty and courage reshaped a town. May you carry this spirit with you, inspiring hope and change wherever you go.